Greetings, travelers.
Greetings, travelers.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
February and there's no longer snow. What? No, just
Yeah, I know it's crazy, right? And if all
mm-hmm.
goes to plan, this is Friday the 13th when this airs. So,
Yes. It's Friday the 13th. And, just to, I didn't even think about that, but we could. Anyway, moving on from that,
yep, but it's,
we are going to do a love episode, but you had a little bit of a breaking news story.
I forgot.
I know. That's why you're going to run the breaking news music, and I'm going to say what it is.
All right, here we go.
So the breaking news was in York County, in North Carolina. They think they're spotting a Wendigo. They've had several reports of it, and I think it's a great, funny story, real, unreal. But we'll post it in the show notes. You guys tell us what you think.
Yeah, I had forgotten about that because I was kind of like, didn't really follow through with it. I was thinking it's more Wild Man, but of course the news picked it up as Wendigo and ran with that. So,
well, what's interesting is there's a whole theory. I was talking to my tattoo artist, which I should probably do a shout out to him. His name's Erickson. He's up in Pennsylvania. Amazing. And he's fixed my alien tattoo, so we love him. But one of the things that I thought was really, really interesting that he brought up while I was getting tattooed recently is that it's interesting how cannibalism, if you look at scientifically what happens when cultures get heavily into cannibalism, like what happens to them and stuff, and when people go feral or get rabies or things like that. So down a rabbit hole with that, but I just thought that was really, really funny news.
I thought it was a neat. The fact that it was on regular news surprised me. So that was.
I'm all about the continued regular news. You know what I mean?
Yep, disclosure. So all right, well, we've got the major celebration that always comes around mid-February, romance and all that, right? It's
I use it as an excuse to eat different candies that come out. I have a slight addiction, which we need to put in the way back machine. Trader Joe's has candy hearts that are a little bit bigger, but they've got like a citrusy taste to them. Oh my God, I love those. I'm in love with those. Not regular candy hearts, specifically Trader Joe's candied hearts.
Candy hearts. All right. Well, remember that. I mean, well, it dates back. We've discussed this before. This all goes back to the pagan feast from ancient Rome called Lupercalia, which was a fertility and purity ritual. And basically, men would sacrifice animals, slice them up, and then use the strips of the bloody skin to hit women as they lined up naked along the street. And this was so that they could make the women more fertile. And then they would draw names out of a jar for the women, and then they would remain coupled for the duration of the celebration. And if the vibes were right, they stayed together a little longer. So
we should bring this back.
I am all for
just that. Kidding.
I am all right. So then where does the name Valentine come into this, right? And that's because Pope Gelasius declared February 14th Valentine's Day, and it was trying to make it more civilized, right? He didn't want that Lupercalia run around anymore. And now, where the name Valentine comes from, Saint Valentine, there's a few Saint Valentines, which is like there? Which one is the one that is Valentine's Day? So it's most likely this one, basically Emperor Claudius II, not our favorite emperor Claudius, who we named the lizard after.
Yeah,
this is Claudius II. That's about 3rd century Common Era or AD, and he was so frustrated that his soldiers would miss his spouses and children while they're at war, so he banned marriage, and he thought all relationships were a distraction from soldiering.
Okay.
but a priest named Father Valentine just didn't honor that, and he kept performing secret wedding ceremonies. And then the story goes that he figured it out. Emperor Claudius II figures it out and says, all right, arrest that man and execute him. And so the story goes that while he was awaiting execution, he still kept performing ceremonies in jail, and people would bring him flowers and trinkets as the way to do it. And then now the big thing is on February 14th, he was going to be executed, but it turned out he fell in love with the daughter of the jailer. And so he even supposedly was able to cure her blindness. That's why. And so, of course, he left a letter to her as he was dying, signed "Your Valentine." And there you go, Valentine's Day cards. And then he was beheaded. So great.
Yay, Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Sometime during 270 Common Era or AD. And then, they say, oh, it's February 14th when it happened. Sure. Just happened to be the same day as Lupercalia. So.
Well, of course it is. That we like to steal. We like to steal holidays. That's our goal in life, right?
Yep, 100%. So
okay. So let's
we
talk.
Got the dark origins of Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm firmly convinced now, after doing this with you for a couple of years, everything has a dark origin.
You're welcome to it.
Yeah. No, Mark, you're terrible. I hate that. I love that. I hate that. Just so everybody knows, we're working on the book. Mark's making progress. Okay. Yep. Anyway, back to this. So we're going to talk about scary, monster, creepy movies that are our favorite love stories, right?
Yeah, the best stuff to watch on Valentine's Day is a spooky movie with your loved one. So you cozy up under the blankets, and or in the theater, you got to put your arms around each other to hold each other tight. But we love a monster love story, right?
We do. And I actually, before we go anywhere, I need to let Stacy Brown know something, because I know, I know Stacy's listening to this and thinking to himself, Erica better put Twilight as number one since it's his number one. Yeah. But I had some good news for Stacy.
Oh, good news.
They are making Twilight into a TV series, which is going to have multiple seasons that go through the actual more closer to the book, kind of like they initiated the new Percy Jackson and the new Harry Potter that's coming out. They're doing the same with Twilight, Stacy. So although I know you thought I can never get enough of this, you can, because more is coming. There you go, Stacy. Heart to you, my darling. I cannot wait. Twilight is not my number one, Stacy.
All right. Well, I'm sure we all have a few tops. Now, Bo couldn't be on. She's still recovering. So we're hoping the best for her to return soon. But she did have one of hers. She only had 3. But we'll start with her first one. Let's get that out of the way. And she said, not technically horror, not technically romance, Black Swan.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That was a good choice. Why did she choose that?
She's like, it's just that high key sapphic vibes between the two main characters. She loves that. And you combine that with the competitiveness of ballet, but then also just the horror vibes of it. And she didn't want me to spoil it at all for people who haven't seen it, because not a lot of people caught that one. It got pretty highly, critically acclaimed and all that. I know it did okay at the box office. So, but if you slept on that one, wow, is it a powerful watch? So
Agreed. Yeah, no, that was a good choice. So shout out to you, Bo. That was a fantastic choice.
We'll come back to your choices here in a bit. So Erica, what's your first one on the list?
My first one on the list, I'm sure could be argued on whether or not it's a love story, but I think it is.
All right.
Death Becomes Her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Death Becomes Her has a fantastic cast and technically has 2 love stories and then a weird love story. And but
it's some of the best ones where they have multiple, A plot, B plot, different love triangles, stuff like that. Really good.
Yeah. So. And I got to watch this again the other day, and I know they're remaking it or they remade it or
something like that.
There's a stage show now or something. Anyway, it is still phenomenally funny. And at the heart of it, it starts off being a broken-hearted story, but it has Goldie Hawn, Meryl Streep, and Bruce Willis in it, among others, but they're the 3. So I'm going to put myself at Death Becomes Her.
That works. Okay, so my oddball choice for number 5 here was
and technically that's a zombie movie, by the way.
It technically is. I mean, it's even got some witchcraft in it too.
Yep.
So
okay, what's your number 5?
That movie. The effects in that movie are incredible. They still hold up,
especially for the time. Look at what year that was put out when you. Yep. Anyway.
Yeah, early CG, but still holds up. So, okay, now I've got a crazy one up next that you've probably never heard of. It's called Sundown, and I don't know what it is, but something about vampires and romance. Yeah, we're talking about Twilight and all that. It's a trope, and I'm going to bump into it a bunch on this. I'm sure we've all going to bump into it a bunch. But Sundown, the Vampire in Retreat.
Okay, I've never heard of that. Tell me about it.
It takes place in the town of Purgatory, Utah, in the desert. And there are 2 groups of vampires living there. Now, this predates True Blood, but there are vampires who are trying to figure out a drink that they can drink that they don't have to drink blood anymore. They can be, and there's another group of vampires, of course, that want to feed on the humans and just screw this noise. We're out here in the desert. We're killing ourselves wearing sunscreen and trying to hide. And it's a horror comedy, of course. There is a couple gets sent out there. It's a scientist, and he's a specialist in blood, making fake bloods as best he can for hospital use and stuff like that. And his wife, now they cheated in the past, and so they're kind of trying to reconcile themselves. That's kind of the main plot. But of course, the vampire who invited him out there used to date the human girl, the ex-wife, the current wife. Complications. But there is a subplot in it that makes it the most romantic movie of all time. A descendant of Van Helsing shows up in town, and he is there. He knows the vampire's there. He's gonna hunt him down, and he is as bumbling and completely out of his depth as he can be. And he's played by Bruce Campbell.
Of course. I was like, I knew. Yeah, I knew Bruce Campbell was coming into this somehow, and I was like, is he going to say Evil Dead 2? We might be not there yet.
But there's another vampire there named Sandy White, who's this young vampire, and she falls in love with him. And so she's, it's just the chemistry they have is adorable. It is not the main romance of the movie, but it is such a fun romance. And I don't want to spoil too much, but I do have to say there's a great bit because he gets turned, of course.
Of course.
And so he's a vampire hunter. So, he's asleep where he's waking back up as a vampire, and he's like, and he's just like jumping around, and he lifts up his shirt. He's got his cross, and it's burning into it.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Those great bits. So, yeah, predates True Blood by a ton, but it has those True Blood vibes, and can't go wrong with that. So,
I love it. Okay, do you want another one from my list?
Yeah, let's go. Number 4.
Okay, so number 4 for me, Shaun of the Dead.
Yay! So good.
Because at the true heart of that story is his love story with his best friend.
Yes. True. I mean, he's trying to get his girl, but no, that's the real truth.
Yeah, no, we've talked about it because it's a zombie movie. I know two of mine are zombie movies so far, but I have to say, I feel like it is a terribly, it's so genius. The movie is actually really genius because they're bumbling, but they're bumbling in such a way that the environment around them almost is the lead character of their bumbling shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so good. And yeah, it's such a great movie. And it really is. It's about, all right, this relationship ended. You got to move on. But do you move on?
And what will you do for the person that you think is the love of your life?
Right,
I mean,
yep.
I don't know that this one hit a list, but Cloverfield is very much like that. I mean, the entire plot of Cloverfield is he's trying to find his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make sure they're okay.
He's moved on. I mean, we could put a ton of monster movies into that field right there.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. Mark, what's next for you, my friend?
All right. So the next one is The Mummy. Not the original, the 1990s.
Brendan Fraser, right? You're talking pure Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz.
Rachel Weisz. Oh my gosh. They are so lovable. That is the greatest will they, won't they? But in the meantime, the whole story of Imhotep and A Knocks on a Moon is such a wonderful love story. That goes back to the original 1930s Mummy. And wow, what a powerful story all of that is. And it is just, their cuteness is so lovable. You will never find the better chemistry, I think, on film.
I agree. And I think one of the things about that relationship that's so different is she doesn't swoon. Like there's not swoonage, right? And every time he tries to impress her, he fails so horribly. Like not even a little bit, like monstrosity failing.
Yes. Yeah. That is my favorite. When I tell people what a Dungeons and Dragons campaign is like, that's the movie I tell them it's like, because that is
more. Oh my goodness, yes.
It's 20s and ones. You've got lots of cool backstory, and then we forget about it and then bring it back later.
Yes.
And love, betrayal. It's got everything you want in a movie. With that Indiana Jones vibe. You couldn't beat it. It came out of nowhere and it was lightning in a bottle. So
yes,
man,
I agree. I think they could do something to bring it back, especially now that Brendan Fraser is back in the limelight more.
They announced it. They announced it for next 2028. They announced Rachel Weisz and Brendan Fraser back. So
because they would make good parents, I know
that's.
And I hope her brother comes back.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah. And Ahmed Fier there is the head of the Brotherhood.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's do Bo's next one.
Let's do Bo's number 3.
Well, she only had 3, so this will be her number 2. So she only had 3.
Number 2-ish, 3-ish in the middle.
2 or 3, somewhere in there. This is an anime. She's like, it's not really a movie. She's cheating, but it's an anime. It's called The Summer Hikaru Died. And she said it's about a boy who goes on a trip to the mountains and disappears. And then he shows back up sometime later, and his best friend realizes that he's no longer his friend, that he's possessed. Something has taken his body and using its form. And he had feelings for this boy, and now he realizes he's kind of got feelings for this monster. And so it is kind of a queer romance as they're trying to figure out each other's feelings, and the monster has feelings for him. So wow. I haven't seen it, don't know about it, but that's Bo's notes on it. And she's like, just trust me, it's worth your time and very sweet and wonderful. So I'm like, all right, that sounds like my type of story. So
I like it.
I am all about a monster changeling type thing. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. What's your number 3 then, Mark?
Oh, my number 3, I have to go back to vampires again. And that is Near Dark.
Oh.
Speaking of desert vampire movie.
You got a theme going here.
Yeah, I got to say there were a bunch that almost made the list. Let me give you a couple of my runners up. Was Only Lovers Left Alive, which if you haven't watched that one, that is what happens in a long-term marriage when things have kind of gotten boring and stale, but you haven't given up on that romance and true love. And it's got a kick-ass soundtrack, and it's freaking Tilda Swinton and Tom Hiddleston. Just being pale and gorgeous. Come on. That's incredible. And then of course you got The Hunger, which is David Bowie, Susan Sarandon, and Catherine Deneuve in a bisexual erotic horror movie. Come on.
You gotta love that.
Yeah, exactly. And again, they bring in a blood specialist to try to help him out because he's aging so fast despite his vampiric condition. And boy, that's a great love triangle. Oh my gosh, it's perfect Valentine's Day viewing there. Perfect Valentine's Day viewing.
True.
Yeah. All right. So back to Near Dark, right? It's this effed up vampire family riding around in the desert in this RV that's got aluminum foil on the windows and everything. And of course, it's the cast of Aliens to boot with Lance Henriksen and Bill Paxton and I can't remember her name, Vasquez. But anyway, May the vampire takes a victim named Caleb, and she falls in love with him and doesn't want him to die, and she's got to get him to escape from her screwed up blood-sucking family. What an incredible movie. I did not expect that when I saw it. I didn't know what to think. That one blew me away when I was a teenager, man. It just was awesome. So
oh no, I haven't seen that, so I'm gonna have to check it out because how I feel.
It's got all your boys. Yeah, heck yeah.
Yes, it has all my boys. Because they were actually technically. Go ahead.
No, they were filming Aliens when they all got cast in this, and they were all afraid to talk about it because it sounded so stupid. And then one day on set, Lance Henriksen said, "Hey, I just got cast in this weird thing, and I can't believe I'm doing that." And then Bill Paxton's like, "I'm doing that."
I love that. I was going to say, I almost put Aliens, because you know how I feel about Aliens, on the list, because Corporal Hicks and Ripley, it's not quite a love story, but it almost gets there. So
still the worst.
I'll turn that in my honorable mentions, because anytime I can throw Aliens in my honorable mentions, I will. Another one that I absolutely adore, and it's terrible, is Once Bitten.
Oh, I love that one. That was almost on my list.
Jim Carrey movie. It's pretty terrible, but Once Bitten. And to stay with the vampire theme, my number 3 is Bram Stoker's Dracula. Because
how did I know that was going to be on somebody's list?
Yeah. As much as I didn't want to put it on the list, the one thing I will say, Gary Oldman in, oh my God, like he is so, I mean, it's a love triangle, like a lot of these vampire movies, right? Mm-hmm. But the one thing I have to say is he somehow makes being so horrific and so terrible sexy. Like he totally pulls that off, you know? And so, yes, I'm sorry. I'm going to do it. I know it's typical. I'm doing it anyway.
That is one of my least favorite vampire movies. So I know I'm going to get some grief for that. It's just because I love the book, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and that had only the first little bit with Keanu in the castle is the only thing that came from the book. Everything else was, wow. Francis Ford Coppola.
I think they went more towards the love story than the horror story that's told in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Well, there is no love story in the book, so it's just stupid.
But I get it. I get why they did that.
I get it too. But yeah, it's it's got to make him sexy. I preferred Love at First Bite if we're gonna go there. George Hamilton as Dracula, the tannest man alive.
Love at First Bite. It's also like Transylvania 5000.
5000, yeah, classic. Classic.
Yeah, and I mean, just kind of adorable humor.
Gina Davis with nothing but cleavage in that movie. I was all in.
So. Yes, exactly.
All right. So, well, let's do one more runner-up. I have to do one more runner-up before we go to break. And this one is, of course, it's not a romance movie, but we have to mention it. My Bloody Valentine. So, 1981, and of course, it was remade in 2009. It's considered like the best Valentine's Day horror movie because it's a local urban legend in the form of a killer that comes back on Valentine's Day. So he wears the mine mask. He's got the pickaxe. I've been currently writing about a lot of coal mines in the new book. So I was like, wait a minute, I got to mention it, even though it doesn't really have a love story. I guess it kind of does, but it doesn't. So it's just.
Okay, well, if that one has a love story, then I'm going to throw as an honorable mention Psycho.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Because that is a very twisted love story.
Yeah, a boy and his mom.
Yeah, boy and his mom. You know,
different type of love story.
It's so funny to me because when you look at Psycho, people have such reverence for Psycho, understandably, right? Because it was shocking. Yeah. But if you now really look at it from our lens and our time and our understanding of the people like Ed Gein and stuff like that, you go,
based on.
Yeah, this is so many layers. But back then it was based on it, but I don't think a real cultural understanding at that time of what made up a human monster, right? Because it's not really a monster movie. It's but anyway, I'm going to throw that despicable love story into there.
That is great. And we got, with that, I mean, I have a personal type because I think Psycho 2 is actually just as good as the first one. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's amazing. But then I worked on Psycho 4, so as an audio intern. So I got a little tied to that. Anthony Perkins was amazing, and he just kept telling us stories about his time on the first one. So very, very good.
Oh,
all right, let's talk some more love stories after the break.
Okay. So why don't we do our number 2s and then we can do Bo's number 1s when we do our number 1s.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. You ready for your number 2 or do you want me to go?
Either way, you let me know.
Okay. I'll go first. The Love Witch.
What?
From 2016, but it looks like it was made in the 70s. It is so freaking good. I have just strong and positive memories of the first time I saw it. And it was just in this weird theater in the middle of nowhere. And I have no idea why we were there. My friends and I, we just went because we thought this movie would be kind of fun for a horror movie. And it was amazing. I was totally right. And then I watched it again the other day. It was on Joe Bob with Beth and Carrie and I watched it. So we love Joe Bob Briggs. He brought it back. All right. So it tells the story of a witch who uses ritual spells to incite love. And it's just really like a pulp novel style of aesthetic. And the girl who plays Elaine, is just beautiful. And she's trying to find a man to love. And so she just keeps making spells and rituals in this gothic Victorian apartment of hers. And she picks up men and seduces them. And then the spells are working too well. So she can't get rid of them. So she's got all these hapless victims. And when she finally at last meets the man of her dreams, it's just a lot of people driving to the brink of insanity and murder. Love. Perfect example of love. And just give yourself a joy. You'll love it. Amazing movie.
Wow. Okay. Well, so my number 2 is probably going to surprise you, believe it or not.
Ready.
Okay, here we go. Love and Monsters.
Hey, okay.
So I think this is a horribly underrated, cute love story, right?
Yep.
It's based on a comic book, and it's about a time when instead of like nuclear fallout or something, all of this event happens and all of the insects are like invertebrates, the little things grow to monstrous size and basically take over the world, right? And
Yep.
humans become the prey. And it's about this young man who has a girlfriend that he loves, and he ends up finding out that she's still alive. But there are these little like underground camps, and he finds out she's at another camp and decides after a series of events to go find her. And he ends up meeting different people in his travels. One of my favorites, as we all know, Michael Roker is in it. And he has a dog, and the dog never dies, so you can watch it. But it is the cutest little love story that has a very, I think, it does not end where you think it's going to end from a love story perspective.
Yeah.
So, but I love it because it's kind of like it seems typical what you would do for love, and then really what's behind that. So I love it. It is cute. It is on Amazon, I know. It is an adorable movie. Love and Monsters. And there's some really graphic death scenes, and some really gross creatures.
There's some brutal stuff in it. I like that he teams up with a couple people while going across the wasteland, and he kind of learns some stuff. It's not your average post-apocalyptic movie, and I loved it. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
And it's great effects.
Yeah. And it's interesting because you get to see all of these creatures that I know Carrie loves, like snails and spiders. And what happens when they're the size of a school bus? Like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed Love and Monsters. But I also have, Mark, a couple more honorable mentions.
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Sleepy Hollow.
Hey, that is a good one. The Tim Burton, right?
Yes, the Tim Burton Sleepy Hollow. I love that movie. I love the layers of stories within that movie. Because there are several love stories that go on for that movie. Yeah. And what happens when somebody breaks your heart.
Yeah.
And
Christina
you're a witch
Ricci and
Johnny Depp. Powers.
Yeah, Christina Ricci and Johnny Depp are amazing in that movie. And then the whole subplot with with all the characters and Christopher Walken, Miranda Richardson, and then it was his tribute to Hammer Horror. So there's a lot of the old Hammer Horror character actors playing the old men in it, including the great Christopher Lee. So
yeah, no, agreed. Another one that I'm gonna throw out there, The Fly.
I was wondering where that was gonna be on your list. Honestly, was thinking that would be your number one.
You know, no. I think you already know what my number one is, but you better not say it. The Fly.
I figured it was this one or that one. So yeah.
Yeah. The Fly, I absolutely, first of all, Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis. But it is one of the first stories. First of all, this was another movie that was made before there was really CGI. This is like Aliens, like it's actually made. And, it's when you're driven and you are a scientist and you make poor choices in a way. Actually, he doesn't make poor choices. He just finds out his lab is not nearly as clean as he thought it was.
So, yeah. It just shows you can never be perfect.
Yeah. Yes. Agreed. Okay. I have one more, but I kind of want to know your honorable mentions in this area.
Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, yeah.
So Beauty and the Beast theme. I mean, that pretty much covers everything. King Kong, Creature from Black Lagoon, all that. It's they learned that. But the thing with the Phantom of the Opera that gets me is he learns he cannot keep her, and he can't make her love him. It's the love triangle. He's nurtured her. He's done everything he can to win her love, but she's in love with the young hottie. He can't help it. It's just nothing he can do. So he lets her go. He grows to that level. Instead of the one thing we never learn, that we always never seem to learn until we're much older, is instead of why can't they love me, instead of making yourself a person worthy of love, you bring them to me. And I think that's the one where he's especially the silent one, the OG.
Yeah.
He just, Lon Chaney, he realizes, oh, you know what? I've screwed up. Let her go. Well, and then let the mob take me.
Yeah. Well, it also changes the trope a little bit. You're so used to people, falling in love and stuff like that. That when you take that away, I think that's fascinating. You know what I mean? Like Edward Scissorhands is another one that is very much like that, where it is. I love it. It's, of course, Tim Burton is brilliant, but it won't work. It won't work. And it's not because she's in love with somebody else. It just won't work.
Yeah.
So
my another runner up there is another vampire movie, of course, is Let the Right One In. And that one, if you haven't watched that, it's pretty crazy. It's this vampire child, hundreds of years old, stuck in the body of a 12-year-old, right? And her Rainfield, her caretaker, is dying. He's old and he's finally dying, and she needs kind of a new life partner. So, and she's looking around for another kid, and it's this whole innocence of that first crush that is just totally doomed to failure. Oh my gosh, is it incredibly done? They did an American version, but the Swedish version, pick that one if you can deal with it, because you want to talk about a totally effed up movie. It's that one. I love that one. It's one of those hit me out of nowhere. Again, I'm like, what is this? And you will just trust me on it. You're just gonna be very, very happy. So
I'll have to check that one out. What about Underworld? Should we throw that in there as a love story?
I was saying Underworld 1 through 3 they're love stories. They're
love stories.
Well done love stories too.
Yeah. So. I think my favorite one part of that was the sort of Lucian, the werewolf origin story.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, well, he fell in love with the vampire. Well, that ended badly, right? And it's that one story to me was very much a Romeo and Juliet kind of like.
Well, that's exactly what they were doing. That's exactly what they were doing with it. And my only complaint about the first one is they didn't have the budget. They didn't get the budget till the second one. So anytime you would see vampires versus werewolves, it was just guys shooting at each other because they couldn't afford to have the werewolves turn into werewolves and actually fight vampires. And if they looked like it was about to happen, suddenly it would cut away and there would just be blood and bodies everywhere. And I'm like, the whole point of seeing this was to see that. So I was very disappointed. I was talking about, they're teasing us. But then the second one, you get it all. So, which is great, for better or worse.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. I got one more runners up that I don't think will be on your list. I'm hoping, because I think I know which one you're going to have. And all right. And that one is Warm Bodies. So is that your number one?
That was mine.
Oh, I killed it. Sorry.
Yeah. Go for it. Warm Bodies is my absolute number one monster love story, because I don't know. It has so many, it's different than the book. The way they did it is so, I just love the cast. I love how they did it, because it was, again, like a capture kind of situation. And he was completely willing to let her go,
Yep. Is that Nicholas Hoult, I think, right? In that? And who's his best friend, the other zombie? It's the guy from Hot Tub Time Machine whose name escapes me. So, but
his name escapes me, but I absolutely love him in the movie What Happens in Vegas. That may be one of my favorite roles. Him as the best friend in What Happens in Vegas. But
he's always the best friend guy, and it's killing me. So write in the comments what we're forgetting.
Yeah, exactly.
But that whole scene where he's leading the zombie horde, and then R is coming back dejected because he had to let her go, and they all the zombies have been motivated because of their love, and then they realize, it's broken now. So what do they do? And he just walks up to him. His friend walks up to him. The zombies, he puts his hand on his shoulder, goes, "Bitches, man."
No, it's
true. Absolute joy at that.
No, I thought that was so much fun. And I don't know. There's layers, there's stuff. I love Warm Bodies. I will watch it anytime I see it coming on, or if I'm doing the cruising through things to see. I very much enjoy that that movie. I do.
And James Franco is in there playing like the love triangle, and I forgot about him for a bit. And then John Malkovich, of course, is the dad. And
yes,
Rob Corddry,
just brilliant.
Rob Corddry, that's the guy whose name I couldn't remember. It just hit me.
There you go.
I remember from Hot Tub Time Machine. It's the only way I can remember his name. So, but he's always that guy, and he's so good. What was his zombie's name? Oh, it was just another letter. They all have letters.
No, he's not M.
M. Yeah, that's why everybody was calling him Mark. I was like, yep, that's me as a zombie right there.
Yep. Best friend, sidekick. Man. I don't know. You're more lead character, Mark. I gotta say.
I don't know. I'm definitely not R in that. No. All right. So let's do Bo's number one, which is the one I thought was going to be your number one.
Oh.
Interview with a Vampire.
Okay.
All right.
So my problem with this is, the movie, to me, is not the same as the book when it comes to the love story part of that.
Right. And she also says that it's not the same, and the TV show is not the same, and the book's not the same. So
yeah, and I do love the Interview with the Vampire movie. I know a lot of people, whatever. I actually have a full Lestat cosplay that has the velvet and everything. I feel like the love story between Louis and Armand in the book completely trumps everything that happens in the movie.
Yeah.
But if I was going to go with a Lestat love story, it would have been Queen of the Damned.
I agree with that. But she just loves that it's this vampire tale of love, lust, and more. And that the older vampire, young vampire protege, lovers is just, she says it follows her writing career in a lot of ways because she loves their dynamic and uses it in her own work.
She does. And if you haven't read Bo's The Wolves of Wharton series, absolutely something to read it. You can get it off of EerieTravels.com. You can get it wherever books are sold. Mm-hmm. And if you happen to come to an event when Bo's at it again, which she will be with us in the future, I know it, she will sign them for you. But yeah, those stories are phenomenal.
Yep. One of the I love the book, and I liked the movie. That series is pretty darn good, though. I'm very happy with it. It's AMC.
AMC, and they did a different retelling, so it wasn't like telling the same Interview with the Vampire story. But one of the things I loved about both the original movie and I don't like Claudia in the new series. Not the actress, she's good. I don't like that they didn't keep her younger. I understand why they didn't, but the whole point was that dynamic where she was stuck at a very young age, right? One thing, though, to me about that was and it broaches into the LGBT area. Like it has that. I mean, the other, which is not a movie, but the Hannibal TV show. Right. There are different dynamics happening, but in that Hannibal TV show, it's Hannibal and, our lead detective gentleman. And there's a whole, because when that series ended, unfortunately, it ended. It's fucking brilliant, though. I love it. There was a whole thing about they were waiting for the kiss. There's one in the first episode. I think it's the first episode. Might be the second one. There is a scene in the kitchen where you go, and what was interesting is they did 3 different versions of that scene, and one of them they did kiss.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the one they put out there because they didn't want that. But when you have actors that can do that tension situation, it's phenomenal.
That's the king. That's the key.
Yeah. What about you, Mark? What's your number one?
Well, I got to do one more. This was Carrie. She doesn't have a list for this.
Is it arachnophobia? No, just kidding.
No, but the one she just watched, that she said I had to mention was Shape of Water.
Oh yes. Actually, I was surprised that wasn't on your list.
No, her complaint was that it wasn't as sexy as she was warned. I was telling her there was going to be this raunchy fishman sex stuff, and it's not that. It is a beautiful movie, though.
It's true. I think it's more the taboo-ness of it because he's not like the creature from the Black Lagoon. Even he's he's a monster, like a full-on monster, right?
Well, he's the creature from Black Lagoon. He loves music. He loves communicating, and he can heal. It's he was worshipped as a god.
Can I guess what your number one is? Because
you're never gonna guess, but go ahead.
How come we didn't mention Hellboy?
I don't think it's a monster love story. I think it's I'm going to get a lot of flack for this.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, Mark, if anyone is pissing off the audience on this movie thing, normally it's me. We all know that.
Yeah, no, this one's all me. This one
is all you. What the heck?
Got a hot take. I am not the biggest fan of the Del Toro Hellboy movies because they are not my Hellboy. They are not.
Oh no, I don't count that as Hellboy. I was talking about the Ron Perlman, the first one.
That's what I'm saying. The first one and the second one are not my Hellboy movies. They are Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy, not Mike Mignola, who created Hellboy's Hellboy. I got it. They're about as far from the comics as Howard the Duck is from his comics. That's, to me, Ron Perlman's fantastic. And Doug Jones, fantastic. Selma Blair, fantastic. But they're not the characters. They are just cartoon caricatures of the characters. They did a couple Hellboy animateds using those same voice actors and stuff, and it was amazing. They were great. The Hellboy 2019 with David Harbour, that was 7 books combined into one movie. I don't know what they were trying to do, and it's just a mess. There were moments of brilliance, but terribleness. The new Hellboy Crooked Man, I'll go on for hours about that. That's Hellboy. That's a great movie, great comic. They adapted it perfectly. Go see that. Half the budget, 10 times the heart, 10 times the movie. Watch that one. You'll be very happy you did. So, all right. Anyway, that's my Hellboy rant.
Wow. So, don't forget, if you want to leave a comment to Mark, who gets them directly, eerietravels.com, and go to the contact us page.
Del Toro can come kill me. He can come kill me now.
I already get so much flack still about Twilight.
Yep.
Going on from that.
Yep. So
although Stacey Brown backs me up now, so
yeah, that's true. He loves you. All right. So number one for me, I can't. It's the one that I go back to. It's called The Vampire Lovers, from 1970s. It's a Hammer film, which of course I have to love. And the opening scene. Let me tell you too. So it's in Styria, some unnamed. Some unknown German Bavarian town, 1794, and this female vampire in a misty graveyard kills a man that she lured out of a tavern. And then while returning to her grave, she is forced to face this baron vampire hunter who'd been stalking her to avenge the death of his sister, and he decapitates her right in the first scene. So that's how it starts. And now it's decades later, and this general is throwing a ball in his estate for his young niece, Laura, and this countess moves into a nearby property. She's in attendance with her daughter, and they talk to some mysterious man in black, and it's just Laura befriends the one girl, and she seems to be sexually attracted to her, and she starts experiencing nightmares, puncture wounds on her breasts, and she dies of anemia, right? And so the general runs off to find the Baron, the monster hunter. He's still around. And now this Carmilla is there, and she starts trying to seduce his daughter, Emma, and she's kind of, rejecting her romantic overtures. But then Emma starts falling ill, and she's got the same wounds. And, it's one of those. And then Carmilla seduces her governess so that she can get to her. It is classic 70s Hammer horror, vampire, sex, love, and blood. Oh my gosh. It's incredible. So many plot twists, so many different things. It's basically, they were adapting Carmilla, the novel, one of the first vampire novels, the thing that inspired Bram Stoker's Dracula. They actually made 3 movies in a trilogy for this. This was the first one in the trilogy. The other 2 have less and less to do with the book, but it's just so good. And and there's the whole thing is this wonderful love story, and it is probably, you want to talk about sapphic content. Woo. The Ingrid Pitt, who's I keep saying Indrid because of Indrid Cold. Ingrid Pitt is the vampiress. Wow. And the young girl, Emma, is just adorable and beautiful. And the 2 of them, just out of the park, sexy and awesome. And the love story is really sweet, even though it's heartbreaking too. So there you go. Oh. My Valentine movie. There's my go-to.
I just want to point out that Mark has a thing for vampire love. I had no idea, but man, almost every single one of his things was that. You know what I was surprised did not make Foe's list? Crimson Peak.
I was surprised that too. It didn't make my list either because it's flawed. It's good, but it's not great. It should be better than it is. The production value, the visuals, incredible stuff. It didn't stick the landing for me. I don't know what it is. I think
the reveal doesn't go the way the reveal needs to go. Yeah. I think the reveal flops a little bit.
Yeah. And I was trying to find, there were some others like Jennifer's Body. I really enjoyed.
That was,
Ginger Snaps was up there for my werewolf romance. And they just didn't quite make that top tier. They were really good. I was going to throw them in as honorable mentions if somebody said something werewolfy.
Well, it's interesting to me when I was looking at my list, because I was thinking about this over the weekend.
I really thought your top was going to be Interview with the Vampire or Shape of Water. I was surprised.
Here's my thing, though, with both of those. Mm-hmm. All the movies that I mentioned, I will go back and rewatch over and over again. Like, they're go-to movies. Now, yes, I agree. The Shape of Water love story is phenomenal. But if I'm looking and I'm scrolling, I'm going to look at Sleepy Hollow. I'm going to look at Warm Bodies. I'm going to watch Shaun of the Dead. Like, I actually started thinking about what movies do I rewatch because they bring some bit of joy to me, even if they're on in the background. And those are the movies.
There's a couple movies that I will never watch again, but are some of my favorite movies, but they were just rough to watch and they're brutal on your heart and all that. And I don't watch those again. They're there and I'm so glad I watched them, but then these are comfort movies. Yeah, I will watch Sundown 100 times over just for Bruce's performance, of course. But it's a cute movie overall too. And Shaun of the Dead, agree with you 100 times. I will watch that movie 1,000 times.
Yeah, I feel like Shaun of the Dead, even like Love and Monsters, Sleepy Hollow, there's little things that you then pick up that almost twist parts of the story when you get the subtleties of it, but I think, like, I even thought of Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is a love story.
Love story. It's a twisted love story, but it's good. So
yeah, and I just went, but yes, I will rewatch Beetlejuice over and over again. Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah. R.I.P.
So, yeah, I also have to send a little love shout out to. I had a huge crush on him when he was in Dawson's Creek, but we lost the day we're recording this, team. So we lost James Vanderbeek. Yeah. So shout out to his family, but I had a huge crush on him, having nothing to do with Valentines or monsters.
I will always know him as Blunt Man from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Oh my gosh, yes. No, a lot of his career, he was there's a great comedy show called The Bee in Apartment 23 or something.
Yeah.
And he's in that as himself, and he's hysterically like this over dramatized version of himself, which is very, very funny. Oh, you know what movie didn't make the list because it's not, but is also a love story? Super Troopers. No, not Super Troopers.
Where are you going?
Starship Troopers. That's a love story. Didn't that count?
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to stop because I think I'm out of control. Mark,
I don't know where that was going, but yeah, you got to watch Near Dark because you like your aliens, guys. So that's
I
on
do.
your list.
Oh, I will.
And, and I may watch Bride of Chucky here later, just because I know I'm going to get some grief for not including that on my list. So, and Bride of Frankenstein is not a romance movie. I'm sorry, it's an amazing movie, but it's not a romance movie. And if you ship those two together, you're wrong. You're wrong. The bride should be with somebody else. But anyway, she should be her own thing. But anywho, thank you, patrons. Thank you, travelers. Oh my gosh. What fun. I hope you enjoyed this one. We love doing these every once in a while just for our sake. We love our pop culture. I hope you enjoyed our little trip down Valentine's history at the beginning. So, yeah. Erica, you got anything else you want to add?
The only thing I want to add is, travelers, we absolutely adore you. So whether you celebrate this holiday or not, whether you use it as an excuse to go get a bunch of candy that's usually discounted right after the day, because I do that. It's kind of like our candy corn thing. Mark does the same thing. We hit up the stores right after because we're like, I don't care what shape this Dove milk chocolate is in. I will take it in whatever shape they want to put it in. Yep. So however you celebrate, you don't have to be in love with somebody. The only person that is important is you. So remember that and treat yourself correctly and have a fantastic Friday the 13th. And hopefully, if you're lucky, you'll get attacked by a really sexy werewolf.
Yep. I love that. I love that. So I don't know if I can add more to that. I'm just going to say happy Valentine's Day, whichever St. Valentine you want to include. Happy Lupercalia. Let's run around the streets naked and pair up for the weekend. It doesn't matter. So we're bringing it back, Erica. We're bringing it back.
I see that full circle, Marco. Full circle. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. So sit down when you're done swapping them with the bloody strands of your animal sacrifice. Sit down, grab a bucket of popcorn, cover yourself up, watch a spooky movie, get all snuggled up under there. If it's got a romantic twist, all the better. And then when worse comes to worse, turn down the lights and hum those beautiful medleys from your favorite horror film, and then scream your ears out, and we'll see you on the other side.